year.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, let's talk about a little LVN here. So our next Chalk Talk we're going to be doing tomorrow. I was planning on doing Chalk Talk tonight for Nate Hobbs. Hopefully we can still make that happen. But tomorrow we're going to be doing an LVN Chalk Talk. So keep in mind this video is already up over on our Patreon group. So you guys can go ahead and get a jump on this, a minute 53 of some of LVN's best plays from last year. We got his sacks. We've also got – I didn't focus on the quarterback pressures. I showed the sacks and I showed the run stuffs. That's what I really keyed in on. And let's just kind of dive into the same way we did with Nate Hobbs, right? Below is a summary of the Green Bay Packers defensive end, Lukas Van Ness' strengths and weaknesses for the 2024 NFL season based on available analysis and reports. So keep in mind, most of this probably comes from PFF. So you're going to see some conflicting statistics in terms of what we show with NFL Pro and some of the stuff that's mentioned in the article itself. So let's go get into it here. Strengths, physical attributes. At 6'5", 272 pounds, Van Ness has a prototypical defensive end build with exceptional length and strength, ideal for the NFL. Athleticism and explosion. Displays explosive twitch and speed, 4.6 40-yard dash, allowing him to chase down mobile quarterbacks like Justin Fields, as we've seen there week one against the Bears, obviously in LVN's rookie year. Bull rush effectiveness. His powerful bull rush is a standout, often overpowering offensive lineman when it connects. That seems to be his go-to move, is that bull rush, obviously playing inside a little bit more at Iowa than he has played here in Green Bay. Run defense, useful as a run defender with 19 solo tackles, 7 assists, and 8 tackles for a loss in 2025, showing ability to stop ball carriers. You guys will see that on Chalk Talk tomorrow. I think we got something like 7 or 8 plays where he got run stopped, where he was just dominating in the run game. And it's funny because when you look at the PFF grades, it would suggest he was horrible at run stop. We show the tape, and it's like, I don't know, man, he looked pretty stout to me. Versatility potential showed.
That is hilarious, Tim. The immediate time that he put himself above you, he timed out again. So,
and I cut my camera thinking I was clogging up the stream or something. So that's not.
Showed capability to both edge and interior roles, with the Packers experimenting with him as an interior rusher in obvious passing situations. You'll notice that too with the snap count. He's played on the inside quite a bit, a lot more than people realized from last year. Work ethic and growth, demonstrates a strong work ethic and has shown growth in confidence, particularly noted by Coach LaFleur in the 2025 offseason practices. Late season improvement, produced 12 pressures, including sacks against the Niners, Dolphins, between weeks 12 through 16 of 2024, indicate potential for impactful stretches. You'll notice when we get to the stats here in a minute, his last 4 or 5 games were just unbelievable. Last season, late season, we talked about that. Youth and upside. At 23 years old, Van Ness is still developing, with comparisons to Rashawn Gary suggesting room for a significant year 3 leap. Again, 23 years old, and there's people already ready to throw him out with the bathwater. That blows my mind. What do you guys think about the strengths there so far with LVN? Is there anything you disagree with so far? Anything you agree with? What you're excited about? Am I the only one that's like a little bit giddy about this season and seeing how 23 years old? We haven't seen his peak yet. We're nowhere near it. So
no, we need to get that drop, Clay. We absolutely need to get that Eddie Murphy Hercules drop. That's what I'm saying. I really do think he's going to take off this year. Got his feet under him, got some reps in the NFL level, and I think he's ready to grow. Now that Preston's not there, there's really nothing holding him back. Yeah, you got JJ there, but it's yours to take if you want to be that dog. That was he 13th overall. Let's show it up this year.
I agree. And I think we're all probably in the minority. It seems like a lot of the fan base gives him a lot of crap. I feel like a lot of people are down on LVN, mainly because they're probably not as patient as we are. And we understand that, guys develop at different rates. I think at his age and with the experience he's had these last couple seasons as a pro, year 3, man, this is going to be the year for him. It's now or never. For a lot of guys on this team at this point in their career, I fully expect them to take that step and be a force to be reckoned with. And, we can talk about, there goes Clayton again.
Sit your butt outside.
Tim, you expect somebody that's had 15, 16 games, 30, in the past 2 years to have some sort of knowledge aspect ready to go, NFL mentality about, all right, I need to prepare. I need to be ready to roll so that we can get this taken care of.
I agree. And I know, I think Clay has echoed this sentiment too, is that, it's probably going to be the LVN show this year. And, JJ and Igbari may not even necessarily make this 53, depending on how things
That's
shape
crazy.
up.
I haven't even thought about that.
Yep.
All right, weaknesses. Inconsistent pass rush. Struggle with consistency, recording only 3 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, 20 pressures in 2024. With a declining pressure rate, 5.3% in 2024 versus 8.2% in 2023. What's hilarious is when you go to NFL Pro, it says quite the opposite. As you can see here, in 2023, his quarterback pressure rate was on 8.5%. Last year, it jumped to 11.2%. So that's why it's important. Watch the tape. Go watch the tape. Again, pressures and pass rush win rate, you want to argue which one's more important. I got you. That's cool. But when they have that big of a difference, that big of a drop off in pressure rate, and we can literally click and watch every single pressure he had last year, and that those numbers don't line up with whatever website or PFF is pulling constantly, that stuff I have a problem with for sure. Low pass rush win rate, his 9.5% pass rush win rate in 2024, while improved from 6.9 as a rookie, remains below expectations for a first-round pick. You notice how those two statistics conflict with each other right there? One is saying that he was better his rookie year than this year. The other is saying he's better this year than his rookie year. So technical limitations. Appears stiff as a pass rusher with poor hand usage and reliance on the bull rush, limiting his effectiveness against skilled tackles. Struggles with agility, frequently gets washed out on loop rushes, and lacks fluidity, making it hard to counter offensive linemen's adjustments. What I'm seeing there, guys, is when they run that loop and he's kind of spying the inside, they're chalking that up as, man, he ain't effective against that loop. When you can see on the tape, hand fighting and just kind of protecting that interior lane. I think there's a little bit of error there in some of the judgment on whether or not he's doing what he's supposed to do or not. Let's see, struggles with agility, frequently gets washed out on loop. We hit that, right? Injury impact, a broken thumb in 2024 hampered his hand usage. And
I think that his broken thumb also caused, the technical limitations on some of those loops. I was going to say, because when he can crash down on a loop and he's pinning the guard's hip and he's really trying to wash out that wall, Tim, it's something that, he's got the strength for. That's no problem. If he's trying to really get, work himself upfield in that loop and using his hand to swipe, punch, rip. I mean, it was his left thumb, I'm pretty sure, right?
I think
broken thumb is not going to help you one
Just
bit.
the tip, though.
Exactly. Thank you, Matt. Perfect. Because he's down there, right? They're asking him to do twists. They're asking him to do stunts. But if that's our only issue with him, he has the strength to move these guys around. That's not the problem. I think the hand fighting is really going to clean up this year. Maybe he gets himself free a little bit more, actually able to, do some moves, grab a hold of the dude's plate and everything.
You don't appreciate how important that is until you don't have it, right? We talk about the speed. We talk about the footwork, the power, the athleticism, but if you can't grip and rip, or you can't get that leverage, or it's a little more difficult to get that leverage, your game's going to suffer a little bit,
Absolutely.
You see guys play with the wrap all the time, it's not a big deal. You think, oh, it's just a thumb. It's like, man, that's pretty crucial to, like you said, your swat and swim or your hand fighting moves.
Right. And that versus like Nick Barnett when he had the club on. Remember that thing when he just had the spike? I mean, as a linebacker, okay, I just need to get wrapped up. Like you're fighting up the second level of like lineman blocks, but okay, just swat them, or I need to just get side to side. And you're going to be at a disadvantage no matter what.
And you got to know those guys on the O-line opposite of him. They know, oh, hey, it's his left hand. Oh, that thumb's wrapped up. They're going to smack that thing every chance they get,
you're
right?
Shooting for it. On the bottom of the pile, you throw a little elbow on as you're getting up. I don't know what happened there, but the birthday boy says, Greg Rice, Wall said sometimes edges get something that unlocks them and they become beasts. Hey, I'm totally fine with it. Whatever he needs to do to make that happen, I'm for it.
It could be that scenario that we talked about. We already said Preston Smith is out of the picture, right? Well, if JJ and Igbari ends up being out of the picture, and we're going to put that on LVN to be that guy.
That's a runway.
Yeah,
that is an absolute runway for LVN. If Igbari, and not that maybe he leaves or anything, but if he's a step down, he's gonna be known as the backup guy or the extra legs, whatever. I think that's a possibility.
Sure.
Coach Lynn here says LVN will be really good in the run game. I feel like that will help for sure. And again, back to the thumb, having being able to get off to fill and get into your gaps, A, B, C, whatever it is, it's going to be huge.
Absolutely, especially if they kick him in too. We talked about the possibility of him maybe going inside.
Yep.
I can definitely see him wreaking havoc against the run on the inside for sure.
All right, boys, this is a disaster. I completely restarted the computer. That's why it took me a little minute to get back in here, and it is still doing the same thing. So it's definitely on StreamYard side for me, I guess, being the host. But don't really know what else to do, so we probably won't be able to do Chalk Talk tonight game. I apologize. Amelia, I'm wondering if it's something to do with what we talked about in the beginning where it was saying that you – like, for those who don't know, they gave a new feature now on StreamYard. You know how it is. Anytime they update something, everything else breaks. So it's recording all of us individually in case we wanted to cut just our individual takes, which we could care less about. And now all of a sudden StreamYard is starting to crash. So hopefully it'll straighten itself out. But
yeah, hey, the computer from 2010 is holding up, Clay. So, I mean, I don't know if it's really me. I'm the one with the low space, obviously, but.
Right. What I'm saying is I'm wondering if where it's triggering that on your end and throwing that warning on StreamYard, if that's what's causing it to crash somehow. It makes no sense at all.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Nor am I, Coach. Nor am I. Let's see if we can get through the LVN talk, and then we'll kind of just wrap up after that. But, so some of the statistics here, the thing I wanted to point out, if you look down the stretch here in terms of the quarterback pressure percentage, and if we could drop that upper right logo down before I get crashed out again here, I'm sure it's about to happen because it's showing bad connection. There we go. Thank you. Look at the quarterback pressure percentage starting in week 1 here. All right. 0, 6, 10, 15, 0, 13, 9, 0, 9. Now look at this stretch right here, guys. 9, 11, 20, 26, back down to 5, 12, 41, 41% against the Seahawks, or I'm sorry, against the Saints. Then back down to 9, and then you finish week 18 with an 8% pressure rate. And then when you look at it on the year here, 2023, 8.5% quarterback pressure percentage, and then in 2024, 11.2%. Again, NFL Pro, they use GPS tracking to determine how close they are to the quarterback in terms of when the ball is out and whether or not they are landed with the pressure there. So we can show all those pressures by just clicking on those numbers there. So what do you guys think about that and how to me, the numbers show he got better last year. He had 1 less sack, but when you look at the overall quarterback pressures, 27 as opposed to 14 and jumping from 8.5% to 11.2, especially down that five-game stretch, which is what Ryan was talking about.
Yes, because Ryan was talking about that. The pressure percentage going up was at 3% there, Tim, and he really only had 50 some more snaps. I think he was like at 347, ended at 407 this year, and he's only getting 40% of the playing time. So that's one thing that he's excelled, not having a bunch of opportunities. But it's also you can't get into a smooth groove if you're not facing the same dude or setting him up or anything like that.
Absolutely. And I'll take higher pressure rate than sacks all day. We talk about that pressure pick coverage sack all day. And, you hit on the snaps, right? I fully expect LVN to be playing at least half of the snaps this year, right? Probably get another 10 to 15% increase in his amount of snaps that he's playing. And if he's on the field more often, he's going to have more opportunities. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. One of the biggest gripes we've had about him is that he's not been on the field. We want to see him on the field more, right?
That's it. We talk about the hockey line all the time. If he gets up to 600 snaps, if he adds another 200, that's a third of what he's done already here. I mean, you give him the opportunities, things can happen. He can't do anything on the sideline, though.
Yep. All right, moving along. PFF grades. This is where it gets ugly. All right. And we'll just go overall by week. If I cut out, you guys just jump right in. 65, 46, 64, 59, 69, 30, 30, 63, 51, 33, 82, 68, 68, 61, 61, 56, 65. Remember that
65%.
65%. That's what remember the Saints game where he had what was it, a 41% pressure rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
How in the hell did they give him an overall grade of 61? His pass rush was only a 74. How are you getting pressure on the quarterback at let's say it was 30% and it was overinflated. Now we know it's not because we can go watch the actual clips. But let's say it is overinflated. How is he not higher than a 74 pressure? You understand what I'm saying? Quarterback pressure. So that really kind of strikes me as odd there. Now, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say to that was I think they also kind of let him start getting a little bit more reps on run defense. Not that they purposely put him out there for run defense, but to Coach Lynn's point earlier, hopefully that gives him an opportunity to be on the field more if he's starting to get better and, not excel at it. But that's going to be a better part of his game, not a weakness.
This is hilarious. Pancake Man in here just used the same
Just use the same. Yeah. Yep. Pancake Man. I'm sure Clayton was going to go ahead and lay into the Pancake Man. We're pretty sure Pancake Man is who keeps knocking Clayton out of the pod.
Bro, what I was saying is Pancake Man used the same exact line of the other account from the other night that was just spamming the chat and hitting it. Like, use the
3 a.m. there?
What's that?
Isn't it 3 a.m. there?
It should be. So. All right. It's in terms of contract. Let's see if we can get through it. Boys, we're almost to 40 minutes.
Give me a number, Clay. Give me a number. We can get talking.
Yeah, we're 9 minutes away. So here's what we got. This year, the cap hit is only $4.7 million. Next year, it jumps to $5.5 million. Deal. All right, and then of course you got the club option with the 5th-year option if you want to go that way. That heat frying up the Wi-Fi. I think it is, man. So yeah, your number is at 4.7, and then next year it jumps to 5.5. Go look at the other edge rushers across the league and what they're getting paid in terms of cap hit. Go ahead, Emilio.
No, that's 4.7. Hey, I'll take that. If you're talking, that's what we were going to pay for Ja. Whatever. But LVN, hey, the edge rush at 4.7 with 12%, 11% in pressure rate and climbing. I think that's something that we can completely get behind. And it's not like he's not just trying to go out there just for pressures. Like he's a selfless dude. I remember that the Tennessee game where he had his sack or he had the sack or Rashawn had the sack and he washed it out for him so that he could get it. And it's just like, dude, it's a brotherhood down there. You're fighting in the trenches. You got to help your buddies sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. So again, in terms of the contract, as I think it was Solder said, LVN is cheap labor, so you better get used to him being a Packer. Amen to that. Mm-hmm. We know how Goody loves those deals, and that's definitely a deal in that regard. Again, you got someone who finished the year with 11% pressure rate, and he's $4.7 million against the cap. Actually, last year he was 3.9 against the cap. So
with a 5th-year option upcoming.
It's coming up in 2027, Emilio. So I wonder what that'll be by then. That'll be a significant number there.
20 plus.
Oh yeah, it would have to be, right. Whatever Quay's number was this year, right? I would imagine. So
Quay's was like 15, yeah. So I could see a franchise tag on that, Tim, at 20 plus in 2 years. So the question is, would you slap it on him if maybe say LVN shows out this year, right? Would you be willing to slap it on him to get him over that hump to say, hey, we want to get a deal done for $20 million? I'm not sure. I think I would, but it really kind of would depend on how this year goes.
Yeah. Talk to me after week 8, right? Let's
that's fair.
See what we're looking at, right? I agree. We still don't know what they're doing with Quay right now, too, right? Let's see what they work out for him.
That's true.
Yeah. So, am I choppy at all on here, guys?
Nope.
How in the world is there such a bad connection that it cut me off, but I'm not getting blurry or anything? That's just
you're not getting blurry. You're not getting the Wi-Fi misconnection or anything. I have no idea.
Unbelievable. Clay, get pedal fast enough to keep this thing running. Got to check on the hamster wheel down there and see if that guy's still. We got Lincoln down on the wheel downstairs, right? So there you go. There's your LVN breakdown. Again, tomorrow we're going to do, Lord willing, tomorrow we'll do a chalk talk on LVN. I think you guys will be surprised. Make sure you go check that out in our Patreon group. The video is already up. You can go ahead and get a jump on it. And we got him keyed up circles so you can find him real easy on the field. And let us know in the comments, let us know in the Patreon group what you think about that tape. We were going to do Nate Hobbs chalk talk tonight, but it'll be an absolute disaster. It's already a disaster. I love how people in the chat were already saying like, "Oh man, this show is great." Who was it that said it in there? They're loving it, right? Of course you do. Bunch of degenerates.
Yep, and there goes because I think Clay's frustrated with the degenerates in the chat, and that's why he's having a problem here coming in and out. Now, I really am kind of excited to see if he has enough internet to get through this next 5 minutes. But the Packers' schedule this upcoming year could be something to write home about.
Absolutely. Other than the early bye, I'm not a big fan of the week 5 bye, true. But hey, it's all right. We'll be all right. I see the Bears have a week 5 bye as well. So
and Vikings are 6 and Lions are 8. So I would say that doesn't make me sad, I guess. At least they don't get that late bye. Maybe we're humming after weeks. We get through Rodgers and we just start cruising.
We'll be good. We're 4-0 going into the bye week. Book it.
I like it.
Let's go.
All right, boys. Let's hang out with the chat for a second. I'm going to be able to hop back on and end this thing in about 4 minutes. So you guys hit the chats. Anything else y'all want to talk about here? Let's bring it home for us, guys. Bring it home.
Bring it home. How old is LVN? 23 or 24?
He's 23.
Okay.
23 going on
24 this year?
Yeah, he's 23, July 6th. So he's turning 24 in a few days here. So that would be in 2 years. So, I mean, by 26, 27, I think you maybe would slap a 5th year on him, sign him for a 3-year deal, and then you're out of there if you don't like him past 30. Yeah. I could see Goody kind of finagling something like that.
I agree. Again, based on what we see this year, right? We want to see him make that step.
My big thing is Brenton Cox Jr. Like, with the numbers he put up last year and the limited snaps he had, and again, that pressure percentage is probably going to go down the more snaps he gets. That's just kind of common there. If they would give him a legitimate shot now that he's shored up, setting the edge and playing a little bit better run defense, I feel like at least he's not running himself out of the play. I think the thing that sets him back the most or kind of puts him behind the 8 ball, 2 things. LVN being a first-round pick. We know Goody loves his early-round picks, right? And then the second thing is LVN played the run pretty darn good, man. Like, I'm telling you, when we watch this tape tomorrow, you're going to go, how did he have such a low run defense grade? Because he was attacking across the formation too. Really, really good job. Really good job. So, and again, are we saying he's a top 32 edge rusher? Absolutely not. But what we are saying is this is going into year 3. Don't be surprised if he takes a huge step this year. This is the year that Trey Hendrickson took the big step, was year 3. Matter of fact, pretty much 90% of the analytics, the statistics, everything that you've got on LVN up to this point, he has outperformed Trey Hendrickson in his first 2 years in the league. And that's why it's important to kind of step back, take a deep breath. Okay, yeah, maybe we've got something here. You just got to let them develop. And I know we're all impatient. I'm as impatient as anyone. That's why I'm kind of wanting to see Brenton Cox Jr. on the field a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Greg Rice here says, is he really full this year? Holmes MD1 came in with the medical terms and said, yes, Greg, yoked. I absolutely love that.